Oh, didn't see you there. You might be wondering, first of all, what is this guy doing here? Well, my name is Tinnitus Coach Friede, and actually, I'm on holiday. You're catching me on holiday. And if you are wondering, what the heck is this German guy drinking on his holiday? Well, then you guys know we Germans, we love our beer and our Apfelschorle. So that's actually apple juice with sparkling water, and you have to try it. It's delicious, very refreshing. But since I'm on holiday, and let's stop with this holiday outfit. So just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Right, much better for a YouTube video, I think. So since I'm on holiday, I've decided for the next 3 weeks, so every single Friday, you're going to get one of the success stories as a director's cut. So we're starting today with one of the interviews that I did a while ago with our long-standing community member, Petra. And it's been an interview that I thought was very, very interesting, not only from the perspective of how Petra started to deal with her tinnitus, but also what she found very helpful for her and her habituation journey. And yeah, I would just want to invite you guys to sit back, relax, maybe grab a drink, try your Apfelschorle, delicious drink, and then sit back, relax, and listen to what Petra has to say about her tinnitus habituation journey in our program. But more importantly, her personal experience of going from bothersome to non-bothersome tinnitus. And yeah, I'm on holiday, but the community is continuing. So if you're looking for support in your habituation journey, you know that our community, our online community, is open 24/7 with amazing people from all over the world. It's at www.MyTinnitus.Club. If you like these videos, then please subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments what you think of Petra's habituation journey. I hope that this is very useful for you. I wanted to make it a little bit shorter as well, because sometimes, you know, long videos can get a little bit, I don't know, tiring. So therefore, I have the director's cut of Petra's habituation journey for you guys. And next week we'll have Stephanie, also a long-standing member. She's actually now our buddy mentor. So she is heading our buddy mentor program. So she's taking care of all the new people who come into the club, who get a buddy, so get paired with someone else in the club. And she heads that mentor program. So if anyone has a problem or question about the buddy program, Stephanie is the one handling that for us. Let's get into the session with Petra. Enjoy it very much. I'm gonna go back to my holiday drink here. Later maybe a beer, but for now having a good old Apfelschorle and enjoy. And next week we have Stephanie, and then in the third week we have Rick's story, also in director's cut. Enjoy. Very warm welcome here, and yeah, just briefly maybe introduce yourself and your story a little bit to the listeners.
Sounds great. And thanks for having me back. So I'm Petra, and I live in Calgary, Canada. So very northern part of the world here. We're still experiencing some winter, but hopefully spring is coming soon. I wanted to share a little bit about my journey since I've been here. I've been with the community now over 2 years, and just wanted to share sort of like when I started on this journey 2 years ago and how, like, the position that I was in and then where I am today, especially for those new people that, are just kind of starting on this tinnitus journey, which can be very, very challenging. So yeah, 2 years ago, I was in a very dark place with my tinnitus, and just, I think like most people, when you first get it, it's kind of very shocking. And then you kind of go into like fight and flight kind of mode. So I definitely had that fight and flight response, and I really think it was like kind of a trauma as well. Like it was just so intense. I mean, the emotions, the sound, just this thing that it's in your head suddenly that's never been before. Um, so yeah, it puts you in this fight and flight stage.
Yeah.
So I
And I just want to put in there, like, and this is really, really, really important for people to remember when they say like, hey, I'm having a huge setback. right?
Mm.
Like to address this now, to say like, well, yes, of course you have a setback because like you're afraid of all of this happening again, and which is like almost a traumatic event from you for you, like not sleeping, having this constant fight or flight reaction, feeling like your life is completely destroyed. It's quite normal that when you feel like you have a setback and when this old cocktail of emotions is coming back, that you wish to avoid it at all costs, right? Sorry for bulging in there, and it's amazing to see you have had you join our club already so long ago. You're nearly an inception member, so since its inception nearly, there's a lot of changes at the moment, but I'm so happy that you're still part of this journey and that you're willing to share your journey with people as well. So already a big thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you. I mean, the club really was, the turning point for me and kind of a lifesaver. So just connecting with you, connecting with the members inside the club. Some members have been there as long as me as well, and they really helped me through my journey. So without that support, I don't think I'd be where I am today. And then especially implementing the ACT therapy, just going through that whole process of acceptance. I know I felt like, at that time, it's like you always feel like you're the 1% that cannot habituate. So I always felt like, oh, everyone else's tinnitus can't be as loud as mine, right? So you have those thoughts inside your head, and it's like, I'm going to be that 1% that isn't going to habituate. And it took me a long time to stop my internal story that was going in my head because
Mm-hmm.
I was really fighting with it for so, so long. Like I think even a year in, I was still like telling myself the same story and like fighting with it and not really accepting, that this was my new life. Because I used to look at like, there was life before tinnitus and then life with tinnitus. So that itself put me into kind of a depressed kind of state because you think, oh, well, I used to be normal and now I'm not normal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's like a pretty, it's so important what you said because you said, you have that kind of story. I'm the
Mm.
1% who can't. And then, I talk so much about the thoughts, the emotions, and then that recurring cycle. And of
Mm.
course, the story in and of itself is the threat and the danger, not even the tinnitus itself, but the story, I'm part of the 1% of the people who cannot habituate. That story is so much more dangerous than the sound that you're experiencing, right? Because the sound is a sound, and yes, I remember and I know that you have a lot of fluctuations, a lot of like different
Mhm.
days where it gets better and worse and better and worse, and then like a lot of steps back. But in the end, like what's so important is that you say in acceptance and commitment therapy, saying, this is the story and this is your story. And, also questioning that story. What does it mean 1% of the people can't habituate? Like who says that? And who walks after these people for the rest of their life looking at whether they really habituated or whether they really never did? And I do believe like 100% of people can habituate if they learn the right kinds of ways of approaching tinnitus and learning that, the obstacle is not even the sound, not even the loudness, not the intrusiveness. It's obviously a little bit harder to, go and accept and go with the emotions and thoughts that come with it. The perceived louder the intensity, but it's also a perception that is based on so many different factors, such as being in the fight or flight or being constantly stressed, right? So this is all something like this morning. I had someone a comment on my YouTube channel, and they said to me like, "Yeah, but it seems like you don't have severe tinnitus," and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is it? What is even severe? How severe should tinnitus be if you're deaf on one ear, if you have a hearing aid and your hearing is shite on the remaining
A
other
key
ear?
message I
What
wanted
do
to
you?
share today, like with people, that have tinnitus and especially are in the beginning of the journey, like it does get better. You might not believe it at the time, which I didn't believe at the time, but it does get better and life returns, and it does take work. Like you have to do that inner work. Um, but there are rewards at the end of that journey. And I am so glad that like today I can say that, I enjoy life. I love life, even despite tinnitus. And
I
I
love it.
mean, life will always have its ups and downs. right? And this was just one of those challenges on my, sort of, I like to call dark night of the soul journey. Um, but I went through it. I mean, the only way out is through. You have to go through it.
Yeah,
And then there's like a light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that because I remember the light at the end of the tunnel was already in the first interview that we did, and
Yeah,
I
that's
think you said
right.
the light of the tunnel, the community, and this was the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see that you're finally getting much closer. So you've progressed through your tunnel, and the light is getting bigger and bigger, and that's so important. And the only other thing that I can add to doing this work and experiencing for yourself, your nervous system and
Mm,
your subconscious have to experience that you are safe in the presence of tinnitus. This is so important. That's why I can only repeat this, but I don't believe in people, and especially audiology in the biggest, in Germany we have the chronic guidelines for tinnitus treatment. They say, okay, masking and sound therapy are not really relevant tools that we prescribe people with tinnitus, because what we
mm,
need for them to learn and their nervous system to learn is that they're safe despite the presence of tinnitus. Of course, we
mhm.
should look at organic things, maybe postural issues, etc. That's all absolutely true. But prescribing people thousands of dollars worth of hearing aids if they don't really need hearing aids because they don't have a hearing loss, just for masking or a
Yeah.
sound therapy program or some other herbal remedies or all that BS that's out there for tinnitus is just, prolonging the journey. Because as you said, you try all of these different things and in the end it doesn't work and your frustration grows bigger and bigger. Then that traumatic amount of stress that sits in your body becomes like a bigger and bigger thing, which of course makes it even makes your brain pay even more attention to tinnitus. And suddenly you find yourself in this massive pile of dark stuff
Crap.
that you have no idea how to get out of again. Yeah,
Yeah, that big pile of crap.
absolutely. And
Emotionally.
there is no other way out of it than like learning what it's made out of, right? And one of my favorite Buddhist monks, Thich Nhat Hanh, says, you can't grow the lotus flower without the mud.
Yes, I mean, actually, that describes it perfectly. You have to like sit in that mud, be in that mud, and then, you know, look at it and deal with it. And then that blossom happens. That flower grows out of that
Yeah,
mud.
so,
Yeah.
if I could just ask you one last thing is like, what do you think in terms of like a journey? Because you also know that, I'm recently restructured a little bit towards the 3 month course. I think that
Mhm.
we'll see a lot of new members coming in because, we're doing it in a lot more guided way. For you, what was the most valuable and the biggest thing that you think you've learned inside the club, or what do you think will new people most appreciate who come into the program?
I think definitely just, understanding what ACT is. So the different steps within it, the self-compassion and the acceptance, and the steps to take, to get your mindset there. So that was key.
Yeah,
And then having those weekly calls, I mean, those were vital in the beginning because we're not only connecting with you, we're connecting with other members in the community who are going through, what you've been through, and everyone understands. And everyone's, story is a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we've all kind of gone through the same kind of thing. And then having you being able to address everyone individually has been super helpful. And I know as the community grows, we have a larger community and the group calls are bigger. So I think, having that first intro 3 month kind of program, especially as a beginner, would be super helpful because it gets you into that mindset. And then the buddy system, which is where we, connect with another member of the community and we kind of hold each other accountable during the week. So if we struggle or we have a success story, we have a buddy that we can share our wins and challenges with. So that's been super helpful. I love the buddy system. And then the different challenges. I know we had last year we had a spring challenge and that kind of thing. So that really helps holding you accountable and, kind of enables you to do the exercises and not to lose track. But above all, it's just really the community and the people and being with people that have gone through it and can help you and are supportive. And it's a very, very positive community. So it was a lifesaver for me, definitely. And I mean, I'm still in the community 2.5 years later, and I have no intention of leaving because it's just such a great support.
And we have no intention of seeing you, but of course, I say I'm beyond grateful for you doing this for me and for us. And I think the community is already bigger than myself. It's already what you said. It's not only, I mean, I still do my one-on-one coachings as well on the side
Yeah.
with many people, but the community has literally grown bigger than just myself. The community has grown into a
Mm.
self-help resources, and I think that's the biggest empowerment on the face of people saying, oh, they don't do enough for us, for people with tinnitus. No, we can do all of this ourselves and organize us into groups such as this one and come together. And yeah, maybe I did share a program that, everyone gets up to speed up to a certain level. And then
Yeah.
we can, when they are through that program, then everyone's on a similar level. And then really the core work is done. And then it's about implementing. And I think that really is super valuable. So thank you for sharing all of this.
And
Maybe,
maybe if
yeah,
I just
yes, please.
interject, I want to say one last thing because
Of
I
course.
want to point out that, like I'm not trying to push the community because, it's a success story for me, but it's really like your authenticity and integrity is felt. Like it's really felt with the members, with myself, like you want to help people. You are coming from a very integral place. And that sort of, exudes through the community. And I just wanted to share that last little bit and thank you for being authentic and, you know, putting this together because this is needed. Like there's a lot of communities and resources out there now. But to me, when I discovered the Tinnitus Club, it was just like this is the place. This is the community. This is integral. This is has a value system that is in line with my values. And it's yeah. It's just anyone I recommend just, checking Frieder and his community out. It's just authentic. It really is. So sorry I interrupted you there.
No, it's all good. I mean, thank you so much again for doing this, Petra. And I'm sure that, maybe in a year's time we'll have another final interview. So then we have a
Yes,
three-part series.
I
And
like that.
I'm really also proud of yourself, because I am proud of you because you said like not only because it was a success story for me, yes, it's turning into a success story, but
Yeah.
for a long period of time it wasn't a success story for you, and
No.
you will confirm that to me, and uh,
Mhm.
you are turning it into a success story with the help of many people and many tools and many things, and the community is part of it. And I'm not even only patting my back, but everyone's back who is in the community. So, for me, you say now it turns into a success story, yes, but it's not been a success story. It's turning into a success story because you've done the work, you've showed up, and you have stood up and shown the courage to yourself to go through this and to take it on.
That's true. It's been a ride.
Yeah,
And yes, the third part next year, and I'll talk about being fully habituated.
I love that. Let's do it.
Yeah. All
Looking
right.
forward to it. Okay,
Awesome.
Petra. Then thank you very much for coming on today again. I think the listeners will really value this, and everyone who's watching or listening, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Inside the club, you can connect with me and Petra, of course, at
Yeah.
MyTinnitus.Club. And yeah, Petra, I want to give you the last word because you made it today, and thank you so much. So have the last word on the video or the podcast.
Just know that there is that light at the end of the tunnel, and it might appear small in the beginning, but it grows and grows, and there is life with tinnitus. Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Petra. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, I hope you found Petra's story inspirational. I certainly found that it was a great a gesture from her to sit down and record this with me and to share her story so openly with the world. talk about her personal difficulties in her habituation journey. And I feel incredibly lucky in order to be able to provide the support and to have been able to build this program. And the community would not be anything without all the amazing people we have in there. So I need to acknowledge every single one in there, people who face their anxieties, who face their fears, who come together, who lift each other up. And it's amazing. I never thought it could develop into something like this. So on this note, shout out to every single one in the community and to the people watching from inside the community. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for creating the space for all of us. It's not only my community and program, it's also the place for every single one of you guys. So yes, I'm going back to my holiday. Enjoying the sun here, or maybe not that sun in Germany. But yeah, next week, as I said already, next week we'll have an interview with Stephanie, long-standing community member and buddy program mentor inside MyTinnitus.Club. So if you did like this, then let me know in the comments what you thought of Petra's habituation journey. Go to Habituate.online for my free 4-day email course, and then join us next week for the story with Stephanie and her habituation journey. And in 2 weeks, the story with Rick. And then in 3 weeks, we're back with a new and fresh video after the holidays. All right, thank you and see you then.